Those of you who look significantly younger or older than you really are, how have you made use of this feature? So last year some woman came to my door and wanted to speak to someone over 18. I was 20. From my house. Straight up told her I was 16 and my mom wasn't home. She left so fast, LMAO. I did this too with some guy for internet and a woman who wanted to talk about elections. I'm 22 and it's the only thing that I can find useful about looking younger, lol. I look very young but haven't found a use for it beyond entertaining me. Note, drinking age in Ontario is 19. The night before my birthday I went out with a friend AVD her group of friends that I didn't know. We went through this elaborate process to get into the bar by contacting a friend working inside, making arrangements to meet at the back door and getting smuggled in. I asked why we didn't just go through the front since there was no line and my friend said she didn't know, so she asked one of the guys. He looked at us incredulously and said because she said your birthday isn't until tomorrow. We were sneaking you in. I looked at him and said yeah, it is my birthday tomorrow. My 28th birthday. I had been legal for almost a decade, and they were the same age as me. I started going grey at 17. I'm 31 now and have primarily grey hair, even going into my beard. My wife on the other hand looks very young, so when we walk together, from behind it looks like father and daughter. She's 28. We went to a father-daughter movie theater special where it was half off movie tickets and a free appetizer. Movie tavern. Should have made out with her during the movie. I'm 40 but get carded constantly. There's not really a way for me to use my youthful visage to my advantage because I'm 40. A grown but adult can get pretty much whatever they want just by virtue of being an adult. I'm seeing someone now, but I guess looking younger was an advantage in finding dates. Maybe? I'm in my early 20s and look like I'm in my 40s. It's more of a bug than a feature, honestly. Thanks, male pattern baldness. I was bald as an egg by 17. It was great for buying smokes and booze. Only downside is that I didn't lose my hair. It just migrated south. I'm debating going trick-or-treating tonight alongside my nephew just because I love candy. I'm 27 tomorrow. I could definitely at least look like an annoying teenager. Just go in costume. I don't care if you're 1 or 91, just dress up and you get candy. It shows that you care about the day we are celebrating. I've a 4-year-old little sister who looks more like me than my mother, so when getting into places where kids can go for free, I pretend to be her mother and get in free too. Adult teenager sisters caring for really young siblings should have that privilege, no questions asked. No need to have that mother title when the names match. Mother to me and my sister, you are going in that restaurant and you are going to get a kids menu. Me, 17. Alright. My sister, 26. Shrugs. The usefulness of Asian genes. What part of Asia is her family from? Cause South China makes you look up to 4 years older. I'm 30, but I apparently look quite young. Just this morning I was carded when I was trying to buy an energy drink. Not really too much to use for it besides getting nice compliments about how I look young. I'm enjoy that while it lasts. My husband looks as young as I do, which he hasn't found a way to make use of, but it does get him into trouble. I went to the liquor store with him and his twin sister. Their coloring is very different, so they don't really look related until you look closer. When we were all in our early 30s, the guy looked at us and asked for IDs, then tried to confiscate theirs for being fake. He said that the guy they bought them from put the same birthday on both of them, so he could tell they weren't real. They both had their passports on them, I forget why. Maybe we were going over to Port Huron, but the guy was reluctant to believe even those. He eventually gave up and let us leave without cases of steam whistle. I had a similar thing happen in a pub with a friend of mine. We both have the exact same birthday, so when we gave the bartender our IDs he thought they were fake. Luckily my dad was in the pub at the time too and knew the bartender, and explained the situation. Surely if they were fake IDs we wouldn't choose the same day. Some jerk teen kept tearing up my lawn with his quad. When I, 30F, called at him to come over and talk, He zoomed over, did a skid slide thing meant to throw mud at me that I would rate a 2/10, then took off. I managed to track him down to his house 2 streets over. Wasn't hard. The quad was parked in the yard and knocked on the door. His sister and mother, who were there with like 3 other people and a baby, assumed I was in his school since I was looking for him. I did not correct them. I confirmed his address, family name. Next time he tore up my yard and the trails and the nature preserve I am next to, I phoned the cops. They showed up while the kids were riding around in the woods, found them and made them push their quads out to the street and have them towed. Not me, but a friend of mine. He was a year younger than most of our college friends, but when we would go to the bar at 21, he started tagging along. He looked like he was at least 30, with a full beard. So even though I always got carded, he never did. It started small, just going to the occasional happy hour with us. But eventually he was well known by all the bartenders and the manager and didn't get carded a single time in the 6 or so months he was going to the bar with us before he was 21. So he started going by himself and became friends with all the regulars. He never lied. He never said he was 21. They just never asked. About a year later, when he was almost 22 and we were all really well known at the bar and the manager loved us, they found out we had been sneaking him in. The other older guys and myself all got bitched out by the manager for an hour and threatened with a 30-day ban. But she didn't even raise her voice to him. I still get crap for it to this day from the couple bartenders from back then that are still around. Well, my wife looks 16 when she's 26, but she's been using her youthfulness to continue trick-or-treating. She just bought a new trick-or-treat bucket last night. What an absolute legend. I haven't been able to. I'm 28 and I look 18. And it doesn't help that I can't grow facial hair. I absolutely despise it. Nobody takes me seriously because I look so young. It's especially horrible looking for jobs. Try modifying your wardrobe and hairstyle when you need to look older. I have the same issue, though if you don't know how to dress maturely well it just exacerbates the issue. All it does is slow me down when I buy beer on the rare occasion. I mean, I'm 39. I shouldn't be carded still. For the most part, it's just a, wow, you do not look your age at all. That must be nice when it comes up in conversation. I'm a 28-year-old male and from what others tell me now they think I'm 2021. This made dating challenging in my early adult years as I would be hit on by high school girls. I do have a separate story about going on a date with someone who was, unknowingly to me, 16 while I was 19. During dinner started asking about classes and I asked to see her ID. She proceeded to pull out a local high school ID. I immediately took her home, told her my age, and left. Looking young has its advantages when you are a young adult as well, it's just how you play the hand you're dealt. When I was at featuring Lewis WA at 19 I could pass for 16 or 17. Any type of degenerate activities you might be up to I was often looked over because of my suspected age. Most often told to go home or what are you doing out so late. Nowadays I don't dress like my perceived age. My clothes alone make me look much older but my tattoos do not help either. Not because I have tattoos but my right sleeve is faded enough to look about 10 years old, which it is. Maybe other people aren't this observant but I am and would not want to get caught up by someone who pays attention. I can pass really well for a middle schooler and I'm 21. I got the baby face and small bean look to me. I've used this to get kid tickets for movies, events, and other things at a limited price. Sometimes I don't even have to ask for a youth ticket. They'll just say one youth. Sure, man. Whatever you say. On the other hand, no one really takes me seriously as an adult, which sucks. So there are pros and cons. Yeah, I'm 23 and currently doing my clinical teaching at a high school. I have had staff attempt to take away my phone. Had students come flirt with me because I must have just moved here. I've been lectured on being in a restricted area where only teachers can be. I carry my ID everywhere in the high school since it's the only proof I've had to show I'm not a student but a clinical teacher. People just sort of defer to me because they think I'm older than I am. It's an interesting conversation when I try to explain that I'm just a tall, panicky, bearded child. I'm 32, women my age want nothing to do with me, as they feel they'd look significantly older just by comparison. I date women in their mid-early 20s as I look around that age. The women I date think it's cool to date an older guy, and the shaming weird looks I get from my friends has subsided after I explain the rationale. I suppose there are worse problems to have. Good on ya. I don't get why some people feel the need to get nosy and shame others for everything that just happens to be a little different from what they're used to. I'm 28 and got into the museum the other day for a child's admission. Went to the bar afterwards, got a beer, and wasn't carded. How old am I? I'm the principal of a middle school. 34 years old. Went to get my picture taken on picture day. They made me do this weird pose where I put my thumbs in my pants pockets and the rest of my hands out. Didn't think much of it. Pics came back and I'm looking at the teachers' pics. All of them only got headshots. Students got headsets and body shots, and lots of them were doing the same dumb pose they had me do. They thought I was an 8th grader. I look very young. I'm a supervisor. A customer was so proud of me for being in the position I am at such a young age. She asked me what grade I was in. She had a beaming smile. A junior, I said. She was so proud. Then I finished with in college and her smile disappeared. Oh, that's good, she replied. So I'd say it's gotten me nothing. I'm not seen as a kid so much by older generations, so it's easier to be treated as an equal. It's not usually an issue in my career field, but I have noticed I seem to face less gatekeeping by my older co-workers worried about the younger kids taking over their jobs. Dating wasn't so fun. Often got rejected for appearing too old. Dyed my hair to de-age myself, which only sort of helped. Married now, so I don't give a frick on this one anymore. I'm 31 and still get carded when I want to buy alcohol. Most people seem to have a hard time believing I'm 10 years older. I tend to fall into the early or mid-20s. Can attribute it to good genes, I guess. My mom is almost 60 and doesn't look it at all. My grandma is in her 80s and still pretty spry. I'm a substitute teacher at some middle schools, and walking through the halls during lunch or prep periods I've had monitors upset I was there demanding to see my hall pass. They would quickly change their tune when they saw the sub badge. Sub badge. Never got ID'd after I turned 18, and older women seem to be interested in me more so than my good looking buddies that look their age. 24 now, and younger girls have started to call me a daddy, so not sure how to feel about that. Other than that, people in my profession tend to take me more seriously than my similar age co-workers. Mainly for personal amusement. I once cheerfully told a drive-through worker, who'd asked me, that yes, in fact, I'd just turned 16 and had finally gotten my learner's permit. I was 29 at the time. I'm 18 looking like 14-15. I can make my voice go like a chipmunk, and when someone asks me to go to a traffic, the only places where you can buy cigarette, but only plus 18 allowed to go in the stores, I would widen my eyes to look bigger, adjust my voice and tell them I am not old enough. Sorry, always works. Haha. I have 2 kids, an 11-year-old and a biologist. When I say this I get weird looks because I am told I don't look old enough to have a 25-year-old. The 11-year-old makes sense. The age gap combined with the shift from age to accomplishment blows their minds. I'm 46 BTW. Same. I'm 49, and when I tell people my kids are 29, 27 and 25 they always think I'm wrong. LOL. I am in my early 40s and I am told I look like I am in my late 20s or early 30s. I think it's because I am not going bald or have a receding hairline. It's starting to look a little grey on the sides, but I just keep it trimmed short and no one notices. Now I just need to lose some weight and I'll be golden. All the other men in my family went bald or mostly bald early in life. I have no idea how it completely skipped me. Pretty much a wow, you don't look 27 inches. I look younger than 27 in 14 years. I haven't aged much. I've only started growing a reasonable beard this year, but still not enough. I look 10 years younger than I really am. Constantly get carded. I use it to pay student prices for different things. Specifically when we go to the opera. $15 versus $100. I knew a person who looked so old for his age that he was able to walk into a bar and buy drinks without showing it at age 18. The local liquor store still wouldn't sell him any without it because they were more strict. The bars he went to never found out, and nobody got in trouble. He is at the legal drinking age now. You can walk into liquor stores at 16 and not get asked for it here. Not everywhere, but some of the slightly more shady places. I still use my college ID for discounts all the dang time. I'm 27. I tend to dress very casually, and we live by a bunch of colleges, so I easily pass for a college student. Someone rang my door, asked me if my parents are at home. So I said no, they're not home, and closed the door. My wife loves that story. I keep my job. I have a younger boyfriend. These are the best 2 bonuses. I get asked if I've passed menopause. I have, many years ago, so no monthly hassle. Most important, I keep my job. Everyone else is late 30s and early 40s. I have no use but always find it fun when people think I'm 16. I'm 20. One time in the theaters a guy stopped me saying I had to be 18 to see the movie, so I had to show my ID. Forgot to say, but one time I was with S friend from college and one of his friends. His friend thought I was 14 for some reason. I think that's too much of a stretch. I don't look that young. I haven't made use of my height, but I've a few stories only I could tell. I have had people buy me alcohol on multiple occasions before I was 18, and upon telling them my age, people have turned beet red from embarrassment and flipped the lid in rage. I've had a girl around 21 ask me for my number. Her face when I told her I was 14 was priceless. An elderly gentleman asked me what line of work I was in when I was 13. I'm 31, and I get carded. Freaking constantly. A few of the more ludicrous times, I got carded buying GTA 5, Fallout 4, Beer 19 is legal in Canada, cigarettes, pizza guy wanted to match my debit to my ID to make sure I was allowed to use the card. Someone carded me buying a lighter once. There is no upside. I get laid, but you'll know I'm 31 by my lack of a signature move, or healthy hip movement, or stamina, or desire. I have facial hair that makes me look a good 6 years older than I am. It lets me be the voice of reason in arguments between my friends, even though they know I'm the same age. The appearance gives me some power. Most people have no idea I'm 33. I go down to the bars and people assume I'm 24, 25 at most. Works for me since I'm still a toddler at heart, but I know it won't last forever. It has its perks, but also being carded to get into the bars is annoying sometimes at this age. I'm 45 and the only benefit I've gotten for looking younger is that I get carded every single time I'm buying an alcoholic beverage. I had my granddaughter in my arms when I was asked for it earlier this year. I've not yet figured how to make a profit, so if anyone has an idea, I'm open to listen. D. I used to look younger than my age, but then I stopped coloring my hair. Now I get offered subway seats because I look my age. I'm not tired, but I take them. I'm 22 and people assume I'm younger than my high school age sister, who looks her age. There are no real advantages to this yet, but my mom was like this and aged really well despite not taking care of herself. Smoking, poor diet, no skincare routine. I do take care of myself, so I'm looking forward to immortality. That's how that works, right? No advantage. It feng sucks. I'm 43 and in my profession everyone thinks I don't know crap even though I have 17 years experience in my field. Or when I do correct someone they're like, oh, well you're still young. It infuriates me to no end. That's basically how I get treated in general. Everyone thinks I am young and inexperienced. They always want to offer wisdom. Frick off. I'm married, have a kid, have 2 degrees, and on my 2nd career. I'm not that young. 48 here and I get carded if I shave. It is of no use other than my own amusement. Like a month ago when a delivery guy knocked on my door. I didn't give him the answer he wanted, and he asked if my mom was home. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.